Ohio State returns to the field on Saturday to play Marshall in its final non-conference game, and it's time to get crazy. I'm Stephen. That's Stefan. That's Andrew. It's outrageous predictions for Ohio State's third non-conference game, third game of the season. Get crazy, Stefan.
I think there's going to be a kickoff return touchdown for Ohio State in this game, and I think it's going to come from Brandon Inniss. We just talked to Ryan Day, who said that Inniss and Jaden Ballard are still kind of competing for that kick return spot. And he said, they'll both probably get a chance. It's just a matter of deciding who's going to get the first one. Even if Brandon Inniss doesn't get the first one, I think he's going to get a chance. I think we'll see Marshall probably score as opposed to what Western Michigan is. So maybe that gives a couple chances to Ohio State to take some back. I just think with how much of how much stress Ryan Day has put kind of on the special teams and the improvement of it. We've seen a couple punt returns come close. And now we've had 2 weeks where kick return has been talked about a lot. I think that's a big focal point for him this week, something that he's probably talked about a ton with that unit and prioritized. And I think we're going to see Brandon Inniss taking advantage of that.
It's been a decade since the punt return. I think it's been even longer, maybe like 13 years since they've had the kick return for a touchdown. So that, my friend, is crazy. So Marshall plays a lot of 10 personnel. And I was talking with Denzel Burke about that Wednesday evening when we were in the Woody, where we're at right now, talking with players. And they're just excited, these cornerbacks, to finally get some action. They haven't really gotten action this year with the first two teams they've played. This is an opportunity to maybe get some action. Michigan State might give them some too. So I'm going to go 2 pick sixes from the secondary, 1 from a corner, 1 from a safety. I'm not going to put names on it because that gives me a little bit of leeway there. No, because it might be Lathan Ransom.
Yeah, but time for Caleb Downs.
It's always Caleb Downs time. But two pick sixes for the defensive backs, 1 from the safety, 1 from a cornerback, just because it feels like Marshall's going to try them. And so there's going to be opportunities to get your hands on the ball, force some turnovers, and then maybe turn it into points. So 2 pick sixes. Andrew, get wild.
James Peoples, leading rusher. James Peoples, 2+ touchdowns. I think Ohio State is really, really going to lean on James Peoples this week. This is why you brought in Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson, to save them through the first 3 weeks of the year. So when you get into Big Ten play, they're ready. They're in shape. They're in football shape. They're healthy. The offense is kind of clicking, and they have that ability to go. We talked to Ryan Day the other day, and when he talked about James Peoples, very positive. When Chip Kelly talked about James Peoples, very positive. But we still need to see it. And I think they would still like to see it from James Peoples. I think this is a big game for the freshman. I think they're going to rely on him a lot. I think, obviously, this is going to have something to do with the score. I think the score is going to get out of hand again. I mean, this is the 3rd straight game. I think Ohio State's going to run away with it. So, James Peoples, I think it's going to be a big day for him. I understand Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson are going to get a lot of the touches in the first half, but I think James Peoples might find his way into that rotation early, because you got to know what you have in him as you go into Big Ten play, and you want to save your two-headed monster going into the Michigan State game, the Iowa game, and more specifically the Oregon game. So James Peoples, leading rusher for the Buckeyes, 2+ touchdowns.
2+ touchdowns and leading rusher. Do you want to put a number on that, and are there 3 digits in that rushing yards number?
Why not? 100+. James Peoples, 100+, which is the leading rusher on the team. And we'll go 100+, 2 touchdowns.
Kick return, James Peoples doing stuff, pick sixes. Stefan, Andrew. Ohio State faces Marshall on Saturday. We'll continue to preview that wherever you listen to Buckeye Talk, so go find that wherever you listen to podcasts, and get the text 614-350-3315, 2-week free trial, $3.99 for that. Stephen, Andrew, Stefan, kick returns, pick sixes, James Peoples. We're out.